Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of Monday Markets. What a mental weekend. Absolute madness from Friday night all the way up until the early hours of this morning. Complete chaos, in all honesty. So let's get straight into it. Quite a lot to go through. We'll start with the news and then we'll come on to the chart. So obviously Friday honestly feels like it was a month ago, not a few days ago, but on Friday, everyone was focused on the non-farm payrolls data, which pretty much turned into a bit of a nothing burger. And then later into Friday night, we had the Silicon Valley Bank pretty much going under, which affected the USDC peg. USDC depegging all the way down to around 80 cents. Some exchanges went even lower. Lots of panic. But it seems as though it's all been resolved now. So as you can see, there's been a buyout of Silicon Valley, the Silicon Valley Bank, sorry. And if we quickly just flip back to the charts, you'll see, you're probably all aware of it now anyway, but the USDC peg is more or less recovered. As you can see, about 98 cents. You can see this Binance US went down to about 82 cents. On other exchanges, as I say, it went a bit lower. There's one exchange, it flash crashed down to about 30 cents. So pretty scary weekend, particularly for those holding USDC, etc. But that seems to be resolved for now. If we take a look at what else is going on this week, as if there wasn't enough. So we've got the CPI tomorrow in the US. We've also got retail sales, PPI, and manufacturing on Wednesday. And then Janet Yellen is talking on Thursday as well to the Senate Finance Committee. So there's a lot of stuff going on there as it is. And then also next week we have the rate hike decision by the Fed, and now they're pricing in a potential pause. It was around about a 70% chance that we were going to be going 50 BPS, and now we've almost completely U-turned to a possible pause due to the banks being under pressure. So yeah, really crazy. And that's where we find ourselves today. In terms of everything that I've pretty much been through, all the important stuff. As I say, we've got CPI tomorrow, and yeah, that's pretty much PPI. And then, as I say, Janet Yellen speaking on Thursday. So that's pretty much all the big talking points for this week. Let's get back into the charts. We can get rid of that. Onto BTC. Right, so start from the higher time frames. Monthly, it's good. In terms of a bullish case that we are above the 21.5k level. Still plenty of the month left to go, 18 days, but obviously staying above this is bullish. A close below on the monthly would be bearish. 18 days to go, we'll see what happens. Same with the weekly, because on the weekly we have these lows on the 6th and the week beginning 6th and 13th of Feb. They're important lows, and as you can see, we zipped back above it. It was all looking quite bearish Friday, and then, as I say, we had the nothing burger event of the jobless claims. And then, despite being the weekend, I personally thought that BTC was going to come down to about 19 to 18.5k. I also did not see a recovery happen on the weekend, not just because of, well, we didn't know about the USDC stuff back on Friday daytime, but also just because of it being a weekend, didn't see it having enough of a push. But obviously proved me wrong. Here we are on the weekly, although what I would say is that we're not having that continuation push just yet. But anyway, so that's weekly time frame. Big wick, looking pretty bullish. Let's see if we get that continuation. Again, it's good being good for the bulls being above 21.5. Good for the bears being below. At the moment, we are above. But if we go into the daily, this is where it gets a little bit tricky. You can see. So we had this level marked out 20.6, and I said a few weeks ago when we were back here, the level we really need to hold is this level because it's the daily cluster on that initial move up. Same thing back here, but we closed below on Thursday. So on Friday, said that is a bearish sign. We come up for a bearish retest Saturday, and again, because it's the weekend, over the weekend, I thought, well, that's it. It's just a bearish retest, and then we're going to end up going lower. Bearish weekly closes all round, etc. However, as I say, proved me wrong. Is this just a reaction to the news about the buyout and everything being okay, and hopes of the Fed pause and pumping money back in with quantitative easing, etc. Maybe we'll just have to see. But if you just look at it from purely a chart technical analysis perspective, obviously good that we got back above 20.6 for the bulls, and bullish that we got back into this range. So normally how you play ranges If you deviate back in from the top, that's bearish, like we saw here when we deviated back into the range high. Come back in, active resistance again, we dropped back down to the range low. It's also bullish if you break up from the bottom, which we have here. So normally your two targets are when this happens. So if you break in from the top, your two targets are obviously the mid-range and the range low. If you break in from the bottom, your targets are obviously mid-range to range high. Now, we've already, so yesterday's candle broke up into the range low, and we've already had that test of the mid-range and rejected so far. If we go down to the smaller time frames, you see the meat of this move happened about 8 o'clock Sunday night. But yeah, we can see we come up, tested it just about, formed a little bit of a double top in the 1 hour time frame, although I don't really take too much weight from 1 hour and 4 hour time frames per se. But yeah, is that just it? Is we just had a test in the mid-range and we break that down? Who knows? If we break back above this daily mid-range 22.7, then that is very bullish, because also it's a pretty important level if we look left as well. So break 22.7, I could easily see us hitting range high and possibly even 25k again. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see. So it's bullish weekly close, however, at resistance at the day. I wouldn't say necessarily bearish, but certainly at resistance, so trade with caution. Ethereum done the same thing. So again, I thought we were at least going to come down to 1350, maybe even the weekly at 1300. Didn't happen. Actually turned green for the week, which is a crazy candle. If you take a look at the daily, again, we've broken back into the range, so that's bullish. So broken up, deviated the range low back into the range, which is bullish. However, if we just whack a quick fib from range low to range high, just there, you can see we are slap bang at the mid-range. So again, bullish but at resistance. So we'll have to see, is this just an overreaction to the good news over the weekend? ETH BTC was looking pretty bullish. You can see we had a nice little run from that range low. We had, again, so you can see deviation of the range low, ran all the way to the range high. Looked like we were breaking out of the range, but broke back in Sunday night. So you know, BTC clawing back some dominance there. Interesting to see where this goes. Maybe this just carries on ranging, you know, for eternity. Who knows? But yeah, was looking pretty bullish for ETH and alts. Had we have broken out the range, didn't happen. So just more chop probably. If we go to stables dominance, so stables dominance had a nice big bounce off that big weekly level. However, you can see I didn't actually have this marked out on this chart, but pretty clear level there, which we just about almost tagged, and a big rejection. So as I say, that's pretty bullish. However, again, is it just an overreaction? We'll have to wait and see. Total market cap, you might remember me talking about this being my target, 500 billion. We nailed it on Friday. So you can see rejection from the monthly level. If we just quickly flick to the monthly, clear monthly resistance here. Rejected, come and bounced off that 500 billion mark. And do you remember me talking about this 5th December weekly level being really important across all of alts? We're going to take a look at that in a second. But that's pretty much what I was targeting. You can see nice little bounce there. Now again, bullish. However, we are still not clear of any resistance yet. So again, possible overreaction or start of a trend. We'll have to wait and see. ES is the tricky one. So closed below weekly support 3963 and already had a bearish retest. Now this is obviously futures because the US market isn't open yet. So we'll have to see what their actual reaction is. We've got a bit of support down here, as you can see. It's a bit messy. It's a bit choppy. However, you can see that's a clear level of support there at what, 3890? Yeah, 3890-ish. So I have to see, but then you've got this little level of resistance here at 3936, and of course the weekly acting resistance as well. So if the S&P can get back above 3963, that'll be pretty bullish. It will obviously drag crypto up. However, if it's going to drop, if we look at the weekly, if it's going to drop down to its next weekly support 3814, could drag things down. So it's a real tough spot, you know, to see which way this market is going at the moment. DXY again looks kind of bullish for crypto or risk on assets, because you can see come up to this weekly resistance and rejected. So we'll have to see if this breaks down any further. However, we do have a little bit of support here, as you can see. Yeah, just there, little weekly. In fact, that might even be a mid-range. Let's take a look. Oh, that's not what I wanted. I wanted the fib. Well, there you go, and that's a mid-range. So yeah, important level there. So rejection from resistance, however, sat on support. VIX coming up again nicely. So once this starts getting into the 30s, when the VIX is a high time to buy. So maybe, maybe getting close to that point. So as you see, I've a completely mixed bag. I'm not going to sit here and try and pretend that I've got a good hedge on which way the market's going. I genuinely have no idea right now. I'm the most confused I've been all year. So there's that. But if we quickly go through the alts, I wanted to show you something, highlight something, and I've kept the same alts as we had on Friday because I want to show you how it developed from what I said on Friday. So MATIC is a bit of an outlier, it's a bit different to the rest. However, so we got this monthly range, as I said. Is this going to hold as support at the top of the monthly range, or are we going to deviate back inside it? So far, acting as support, but again, we've got a long way to go. On the weekly, you can see we just came down and just short of this weekly level at 0.92, had a nice big bounce. However, on the daily, you can see, so that's pretty bullish. However, you can see on the daily, we are again at resistance like ETH and BTC are. From this candle on the 8th of March, which is the start of the leg down. And actually, you can look across, and this has been a level since there. You could even say there. So ever since 3rd of Feb. But the important candle I want you to focus on is this 8th of March daily candle here, because that's the resistance. Start of this leg of the move down. Need to break this to start getting bullish. And it's the same across the board. If we go to 88, start on the weekly. So I was talking about this 5th of December weekly candle, start of this leg of the move. This was a really important level to hold because this is the breakout. This is where we made a higher high, and this is where we could potentially form a high low. If we break these this level, or across the board on all alts, because they all look pretty much the same, they've all got this level on the 5th of December week, break that and it's quite an easy path down to the lows of January, December. However, you can see we did hold it. On Friday we were down here. I thought there's no chance we're going to have enough strength over the weekend to hold it. I've proven wrong. So that looks bullish. However, if you look on the daily, we are at 8th of March, which I just mentioned a minute ago on the MATIC chart. So 8th of March daily level coming into play there. And you can see if you look left, actually, it's been a bit of a level in the past. But again, wouldn't be getting bullish until we get a daily close above that. Same with DOT. If we go take a look at the weekly again, 5th of December weekly level held, nice big wick, so that looks bullish. However, if we go to the daily again, where are we? 8th of March, even slightly higher on DOT. We've actually got this start of the leg of the move at $6, which started on the 6th of March. And then if you look left, this has been a level pretty much all the way since November. You can look at that, really, really important level there. So I wouldn't be getting bullish until we got a daily close above that. So again, bullish on the weekly, but at resistance on the daily. And then finally, NIR is exactly the same. So held the weekly level 5th December, nice bounce. That's bullish. If you go to the daily, we are stuck at the range low, which is now acting as resistance. Just extend these out a little bit. So again, it will be bullish if we can get a daily close back inside the range, because then you can target the mid and the range high. However, at the moment, it's stuck at resistance. So, and again, 8th of March, although this leg down started on the 7th, so similar sort of place. But as you can see, really, really important level, this daily range low. So again, everything, all alts will probably look very similar across the board. So go check them out. You're looking for that week beginning the 5th of December, which has been held, which is bullish. However, this sort of cluster of between the sort of 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th of March daily levels holding as resistance. So I personally wouldn't be getting bullish on alts until they've cleared their respective daily levels, as I say, formed around the 5th to 8th of March. So that's my take on it. As I say, BTC and ETH as well at resistance at their respective mid-ranges too. So yeah, we'll just have to sit and wait, see what madness unfolds this week. Lots of stuff going on. So yeah, just be very careful, trade safe, don't use high leverage. And yeah, I'm looking forward to breaking it all down on Friday and seeing what has happened. So yeah, look forward to that. Have a good week. As I say, trade safe, and I will see you on Friday.